Hi, my name is OBaH, aka Old School Beats and Harmonies, and I work for Building Beats. We are a music education nonprofit that teaches music production and DJing to youth at after school programs, community centers, and homeless shelters across New York City. I'm here today to walk you through how to create a Metro Boomin type beat on Soundtrap. Metro Boomin is one of the top trap music producers on the scene right now. He's produced tracks for pretty much every mainstream artist you can think of in that genre. His sound is the trap music sound, which is syncopated, heavy drum programming, booming 808 bass lines, simple melodies and harmonies, and a nice mix down to complement the lyricist and the production technique. So I'd like to play my beat for you. Afterwards, I'll take a couple of minutes and talk about a few things that I did to showcase trap music production and Metro Boomin. I hope you enjoyed my beat. Now I'd like to spend a couple of minutes discussing a few things I did in my beat to showcase trap music production techniques and some cool and creative ideas for your own production. The elements that make up trap music are pretty simple. It's your ability to pick out complementary sounds, being able to mix, edit, and arrange those sounds is the difference between an okay beat and a really good beat. My sounds come from pre-made loops in Soundtrap. I like to use these pre-made loops for these tutorial videos because I feel that most people that are watching this, you probably are not a trained musician who knows how to play piano or guitar or bass. And even if you do, this video can be useful for you. But these pre-made loops showcase the types of quality sounds that come in Soundtrap, and it also shows that whether you're a musician or not, you can make a quality beat on this program. So I'd like to start by talking about the melody. Okay, I found a nice synth in Soundtrap's loop library, and I really liked the loop, so I didn't feel the need to make too many changes. I did a couple of things. I transposed it, meaning I changed the key, and then I edited the loop to remove some of the notes during a breakdown section of my beat. So let me solo that synth. Now, if you look here at the top where my numbers, my bar count is indicated, I'm going to start it at the 13th bar, and you should notice that when it gets to bar 17, you're going to hear the key of that synth change. How did I accomplish that? Well, you can see these edits boxes that are popping up here. If I click on this edit box, go to transpose, G major is the original key of that loop. What I did was I came to this section here and decided I wanted to change the key A major. And I did this so that as the loop plays, it's not repeating the same key from start to finish. For me, that can get a little boring if there is no variation in the melody. Okay, so I made a variation here for this 8-bar section, and then this same variation happens again later on in my beat. Let me play it for you. So that was one edit that I did. The second edit, like I said, was to open up the loop and remove the notes that I didn't want to play to create a breakdown, a stripped down section of my melody. Sounds like this. If I double click on the box, the program will show me two options. One, instrument, which means that I can add notes to it, or piano roll, which also allows me to add notes, but I can also take notes away. So if I don't want any of these notes here, I can highlight them, select them, and delete them. Simple as that. The other sound I'd like to take a minute to speak on is the drum beat. I've got two pre-made loops from Soundtrap making up my drum beat. I've got them soloed, so the one in green, that is my primary drum loop, and the purple would be the secondary. What the difference is, the primary plays for pretty much the whole track. Secondary comes in later and is meant to be a layer to the primary, okay? Which means that the primary is providing the main beat, the secondary or the purple track is giving or providing some filler notes in between. So I've edited both of these loops, removed the notes so that there's space. You know, when you've got too many sounds bunched up together, that's like a musical argument. I don't want that. I want there to be space so that when both of these tracks are playing together, they have room to breathe, musically speaking. And on the green primary track, I opened up the loop so that I could add or edit specifically the bass drum. So if I zoom in, double click the box, again, go to piano roll. Once I'm in the piano roll, I have the option, again, to add or take away notes. So what I want you to see over here, this is the original loop. This note here at the bottom, that's my bass drum. And if you can see here, they're really small, there's 3 notes for the bass drum here. Now, once I get to this section here, well, here's me doing some editing. Here's me editing, adding more bass drum hits. Again here and here, okay? So I have some variation now to my drum programming on my drum kit. See what it sounds like, okay? Right now the drums are soloed. Go back a little bit. So that gives me some nice variation on my drum programming. Now, the other important element when it comes to your mixdown is deciding what sounds need to be automated. Okay, Soundtrap gives you 3 automation options. Okay, so if I come here to this track, this symbol here is my automation. I'm going to tap it, and you'll see I have automation on this track here. I've automated the panning. The panning selects the sound either right down the middle, meaning both ears equal, or I want the sound to go more to the left ear or more to the right ear. So for this sound here, and for the sound or the instrument right underneath it, the sample underneath, I have the sound bouncing from left to right. So the sound might start in the left ear, and by the time it finishes, it's in the right ear, or one sample plays in the left ear, and then when the next part of the sample comes, it's in the right ear. That's a technique that I've used for years, and it's a popular technique for a lot of producers. On this track over here, you can see I have a little volume fade in. It is the intro, so I wanted that sound to fade in rather than come in at full volume right from the very beginning. Click the edit box. There's my fade in option. There's also a fade out option, and these other options as well. Okay. So the last piece of the puzzle is the arrangement. Now the arrangement has to deal with how long are the sections of your beat that you're putting together, and what order are these sections happening. My entire beat is arranged in 8-bar sections. Here's my intro. If I slide this bar over, here's the second part of my beat, and you'll notice at the end of that 8-bar section, I've got some editing going on here for that last bar. Slide it over again. Again, another edit section at the end of the 8 bars. When you're working with 8-bar sections, the best place to make variations or changes is either in the middle of it or at the end of that 8-bar section. Okay, those are the 2 ideal places to make edits to an 8-bar section. Slide it over again. Now this section here, things are pretty intact. We could call that a full verse. Slide it over again. These lightened sections here means that the sound is muted, and plenty of mutes going on here. That's my breakdown section. Okay, verse number 2, first 8-bar section. Slide it over again. Second 8-bar section for what would be my second verse. Slide it over again. Now I've got a 16-bar outro to this beat. This is the first 8 bars where I have removed some of the sounds, some of the instruments, or edited those sounds or loops. Slide it down to the final 8-bar section. Most of the sounds have been removed. The only sounds left are really sound effects to give it a nice kind of subtle outro to my beat. Thank you for tuning in. Once again, my name is OBaH, and I work for Building Beats. Check out our website at www.buildingbeats.org. Find us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, under the handle @BuildingBeats. Follow us, like our post, and check out our other Soundtrap how-to videos. Peace.